So I used to have a tradition on my channel whereby if somebody who was influential or widely known on YouTube were to close their channel, I would make a YouTubicide video for them. Basically, just making a digital tombstone whereby I would pick some apropos music and just play it to the announcement that their channel had been closed, and leave some links in the description box towards explanations if there were any. I stopped doing that for a couple of reasons. The biggest one is all of the music that I used, whether it was royalty free at the time or not, would get claims on it, and then I would want to move that video from my main channel to my archive channel, and it just wasn't worth the hassle of getting a copyright claim, even for what should be royalty free music. Years later, the artist can decide, you know what, screw any decisions I made in the past, I'm going to start claiming this shit. Or a third party can just claim a video, and then the music from that gets caught with Google's algorithms and whatnot. And I just don't want to do that kind of video anymore. But today, I want to talk about the loss of TheWoolyBumblebee, because she's from that era on YouTube where I would post these YouTubicide videos. And I don't know what appropriate song I would have selected about bumblebees, but I do have some things to say about her loss to YouTube. And as far as the situation surrounding her decision to close her channel, I'll leave links in the description box to people who've already covered that, like Bearing, Noel Plum 99, Charming Man 93, Micaiah B, Fresh Whole Milk. There's people who liked her and didn't, and they made videos, and that's fine. But I want to talk about, in the wake of her loss, as a YouTubicide, what has happened. The first part that affects me is any arguments that I had with her on YouTube are now one-sided. You're only seeing my side of the issue. And so I had a couple videos about her. The last video where I mentioned her was my video, What YouTube Rejects for Monetization, where I was telling people, go to her channel because she's already been talking about the subject of what YouTube rejects for monetization. All of her content on that is gone now, right? I was referring people to her videos as a reference. That reference is gone. Back in December 3rd of 2015, I made a video, Not All Transsexuals Have Gender Dysphoria. And I was using evidence-based reasoning, using the new DSM-5 instead of the DSM-4, teaching new terms and why these new terms have come about. And her husband were rabid in their defense of what she had been saying on her channel. What she had been saying on her channel is no longer there now. So the context of what my video was about, gone. Fucking gone. And I have another video, it's a ramble, on hypocrisy and associations with YouTube dramas. Right? It's got quite a few views on it. And I brought her up. And I was talking about certain dramas that she was a part of. Every bit of her interaction in those dramas, gone. You can't look it up because it's not archived. Or if it is, I don't know where it is. Yeah, her channel is just gone. Deleted. So beyond just losing half of the context of a situation, there's another thing that happens when she or anyone else YouTubicides, and that is the context that is left is mostly negative. Because if you have arguments and discussions on YouTube, people really like to use clickbaity titles that will paint you in a negative light. You have your little back and forth. And I remember years ago speaking with Aldous Valor about a certain ratio you could assign to YouTubers if you were to search their channel name and then look at all the titles and videos on the first page. Let's say 20 videos will pop up. If you were to search my channel name right now, one of those 20 videos is a negative video about me. Just one. I know there's probably hundreds out there, but only one shows up on that first page, right? Like search engine results, right? 19 of them I would be okay if that was the first introduction someone had to who I am here on YouTube. Just that one would be, that's not putting my best foot forward. So that's how I would grade these videos. In the wake of the Woolly Bumblebee's YouTubicide, you could search her name right now, and I would score her at an 8 negative videos to 12 good. And even then, she might score that differently if she were to look at some of those videos and how she were to have fared in hangouts with other YouTubers, and if she would want that to be what was presented as who she was here on this platform. But basically, when you leave, all that's left behind are people talking shit about you. You know, the Woolly Bumblebee was involved in many, many, many different dramas and many different debates and discussions here on YouTube, and she was from a very polarizing place. She used to be associated with a men's rights activist organization, and so when she had that breakup with them, you know, there was some drama, and just the fact that she was associated with them brought drama to her. She was like their token female male activist, you know, and worse than most people, history on YouTube search results is not going to paint her in a good light. After the heat from the recent videos like this one that are about her YouTubicide go away, when the algorithm starts re-ranking all these videos, when we search her name later, more horrible responses to her that are venomous are going to be in that search page. You know, it won't be slanted towards the new videos that have come out this week. No. It'll be like, overall, what are the best videos about the Woolly Bumblebee? That's how the algorithm's going to respond to that search query, that search request. So she's going to have a horrible first page score. And I know you can manipulate that page. And my late friend, Inventor Gorilla, was actually good at doing it. He would put in the tag, title, and description of his videos his own channel name. So he would do whatever subject, and he would always type in caps. He was a caps lock commando, right? He'd do whatever subject, and then ... by Inventor Gorilla, right? And then he'd put his name in his description box. He'd put it in the tags, and then he would push a lot of the negativity that he was receiving here on YouTube off of that first search page, right? The Woolly Bumblebee has removed her whole channel, and now all that's left is people talking shit, and people having venomous responses to the positions that she held here on YouTube, and that's all her doing. You know, you can leave without taking down your channel. You know, you can make an announcement and not leave the whole platform to be completely negative to you in the wake of your leaving, you know? And I just want this to be a cautionary tale for anyone else who runs into a lot of drama and they feel like they need to leave the platform. Think about what that means. If you have been engaging with a lot of people, a lot of the people talking about this have been talking about the previous YouTubicide, which was Dr. Philip Moriarty. All that's left of Dr. Philip Moriarty on YouTube now is people taking him out of context and making their own videos being venomous towards him. That's it. He doesn't have his own representation anymore. And that's a stiff price to pay for wanting to leave this game that we play, you know? It's not like when you're playing an online video game and you can just leave and buy a new video game and not have to worry about your legacy that you left behind. YouTube is, you know, for keeps in that respect, in that if you take away your representation of yourself, then all the negative representations of you remain. You know? And perhaps there are some YouTubers that wouldn't have that effect because they have more positive interactions with others. But if you're one of those polarizing YouTubers who went to one of the extremes to be able to debate from, and you got a lot of views and subscriptions from it, you're not going to be as lucky. And that's what I take from Woolly Bumblebee's departure.